Okay, take 3. Hi everyone, it's Penny. I make Playscenes and I am here today to give you a basic tutorial of how I make Playscenes. Now I'm sure there are many other ways to do it, but this is my personal preference way. So first off, I use 2 different programs. I use Paint, which comes free with every Windows computer. It's automatically on there. And I use GIMP, which you can download for free online. It's a lot like Photoshop, but you don't have to pay for it. And I'm fairly certain it's compatible with both Apple and Windows. I'd have to check. But anyway, there is a link to download that on my Kennel site, which you can find on the downloads page. And just go to Guide to Making Playscenes. Wait for it to load. Okay, so here we are on my guide to making Playscenes, and here are all the download links of the tools I suggest, and you can download Paint if you don't already have it. Now, you can see that there's some other download links here. These are specifically used when I make overwriting Playscenes, and I'm not going to go over overwriting Playscenes today. So we're not going to worry about these. We're just going to worry about these 2, right here, that I am circling with my mouse and hoping that you can see. Alright, so basic most important thing to know is this right here. This is the exact size the Playscene must be to format correctly in the game. If it is not that size, funny things happen. The Playscene will shift to one side or the other. You'll get black bars on the side, you might get gray bars on the top and bottom. I've even had it change colors before if it has not been that size. That is the most important thing to remember. So, seriously, like, this page is, you should check it out. So, today I'm just going to be making a very basic Playscene. I'm just going to open up GIMP real quick. It does take a minute to open up, but once it's open, it runs fairly smoothly. So I'm just going to let it start up. Okay, it usually doesn't take this long, but it's taking a long time today, and I think that's because I haven't started it up in a couple weeks. So we're just going to let that run while we go get some screenshots. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Petz 4 so that I can show you guys how you can take Playscenes and parts of Playscenes and combine them together to make a new Playscene. So for that, I'm going to go into Petz 4, and once it loads, everything's taking forever to load today for some reason. I'm going to go into the, actually, I bet that's why it's taking a long time to load, because I'm trying to record my screen. Now this is one of the Playscenes I made. This is obviously the last thing I made. So I'm just going to go into the playpen here. And what I've learned from the playpen is it has a lot of really great pieces that you can use to make other Playscenes. So right now I'm just going to go and really quick find the grass, oh, there it is, that we all love because it's grass. And I'm going to push print screen. It's a button that's on your keyboard. I'm just going to push print screen. I'm going to minimize it, move some GIMP windows out of the way, and I'm going to open up Paint. And in Paint, I'm going to paste. And then I'm going to zoom out. So in Paint, you just want to select the bits of what you want to be able to use and hit crop. And so now I have this nice grassy area. Then you can go File, Save As, doesn't matter what you save it as, I just do whatever. And I have my special folder just for the tutorial today. So we're going to label this grass so I can find it again. And we're just going to minimize Paint for right now. We'll come back to it later. So now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to cheat a bit here and open up one of my old play scenes that I've already made so that I have one that's already the right size. If I can find it. And we'll just open up the bird play scene. So I've got this open and this is already the right size, which is convenient for me. But should you need to change the size of your canvas, I would suggest going to Image, clicking Canvas Size, and right here you can go ahead and input the numbers. Make sure you click this before you input the numbers, because this is what allows you to change it to whatever size you want. So make sure you unlock it, and you can click Resize. So now we're going to put that grass in that we just went and got. Here's our grass. So it comes up in a new window. So once it's in this new window, it's already the way I want it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click over here. I'm going to click this arrow button over here in the toolbox. Then I'm going to come over here to the layers. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to drag it. And then I'm going to drag it to where I want it on the screen. It's really wide. It's usually not that wide. So now it's there. But as you'll notice, it doesn't have, it's a flat image. It doesn't have any perspective to it, which is something that's very important in Petz. So I'm just going to come over here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to resize it. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see that part of my screen. I should have thought of that. So in case, just in case, because I actually don't know if you guys saw that, I was pushing this button right here to move things around, and now I've clicked this button to resize. And then once you hit the resize tool, you just click over here, and it selects whatever layer you're on. I'm going to go ahead and chain this together, because that preserves the picture's integrity. And I'm just going to drag it and make it bigger. And hit scale. And now it's a lot bigger. So now I can come down here and I can zoom out. And you can see I've made this a lot bigger because this yellow and black dashed box shows me the size of the image. And this is where I want to hit this perspective tool. And select that image. And I can drag these corners to change how this looks perspective-wise. And if you're careful, you can preserve any lines that are there. So if you're using a tile floor, the lines would still be straight. And that's the most important thing, is keeping those lines straight while still getting your perspective the way you want it. So we can see now that that looks like it's angled back a bit. I can actually just go ahead and delete that layer because I'm just using the canvas size. So now we've got a nice perspective going there. So let's open up something to use as our sky. Now this is an image that my friend Mercury just went outside, she took a picture with her phone and she sent it to me. Because I asked her to. And you can see it pops up and it's not exactly the right size, but I really just wanted to show you guys some other fun tools. So you can click this little rotating tool with the arrows that make it look like it's circling, and you can rotate it. So let's rotate this 90 degrees. And I can actually just type. I don't know why I'm not typing right now. I just don't feel like it. Close enough. So you see it's still not quite wide enough. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make it, we're going to scale it up a bit and stick it there. And then right now it's on top of the grass. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to click on it over in the layers and drag it below the grass. Now you've got a sky, you've got some grass. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? So let's go back into Petz 4. And let's just go to the backyard. And we're going to hit print screen again, because I'm going to take this fence and stick it in our new Playscene. So I'm just going to paste it again, and I'm going to select my fence. My lovely, lovely fence that is going to be mine for a Playscene. That is not this one. And I didn't quite crop that right, so I can just come back and crop it again. And I'm going to go File, I'll save it as a JPEG this time, just to prove to you that it doesn't matter, and name it Fence. And then I'm going to come over here, open it, grab it, and here it is. So, as you'll notice, this doesn't have there's this magical background behind our fence, and we don't want that. So what I usually come and use is this free select tool. I'll just highlight it. And what this does is it allows you to click every little spot around the object that you're trying to select. So we're just going to do that, and that's going to take a minute. I apologize for the wait, because the fence has a lot of little corners to select around. But to speed this up, I'm just going to cut this bit. Oh, I've messed up my line. That's okay. In half. And we're just going to loop this bit, actually, is what we'll do, to make this a lot faster. So now that I have that highlighted, it's got the little lines running around it, I'm going to click Select, Invert, and I'm going to hit Delete. And all the rest of it just went away. But I'm not done. I'm going to go into Layer, scroll down to Transparency, and click Add Alpha Channel, and hit Delete again. Now I just have the fence and a bunch of transparent area. I'm going to deselect stuff because I forgot to select around the bottom of this fence. Oh no, I made it mad. We'll just use our rectangle select to get rid of the rest of it. And I just delete it. Now I'll click on my Move tool again, drag that to where I want it. So now I've got a fence, but it's not very long. And if I were to scale it out, you can see that it's going to get distorted really quickly. And we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it and hit duplicate. Now I have that same layer twice. And I can just line it up with the old one. And it looks pretty good, but the shadow's off. So what I'll actually do is I'll come over here and I'll click this flip tool. And I'll flip it. Because this way I have that exact same shadow and it'll line up. See how much better that looks? Now to save myself time, I'll hit merge down, and that made those two layers become one, and I'll duplicate it. And now I don't have to worry so much about flipping it because it lines up a lot faster now. Except I have to make sure this line ends up being flat. And so I'll just keep duplicating it and carefully lining it up. Until we have a nice solid fence going all the way across. That doesn't look half bad, now does it? So I'm going to show you a few more little things, and then I will show you how to put it in the game. So the next thing I wanted to do is show you, and I probably should have set this up beforehand. You know, we'll go into Petz 5 for this part, just to get some variation here. So I will just open up Petz 5 real quick. Now I open them all as administrator because my games run better. Hint, if something goes wrong in your game, chances are if you run it as administrator, it will run much better. It'll fix your problem. I don't know why, but typically it will. Just open that back up. So what we're going to do in Petz 5 once it opens is we're going to grab a couple more things so I can show you a couple more functions of the GIMP tool, because this tool makes editing very, very convenient. Oh. Here's a giant frog that Nilla hexed for me that I am going to put up for download later today because I just remembered that when I saw it. So right now, we're going to go to the backyard, and we're going to do the thing that takes forever, which is we're going to grow a little daisy, if I can find it. Here, daisy, daisy, daisies. There they are. Daisy. We're going to grow ourselves a daisy, and hope it doesn't take 10 years. Because I just want to show you that you can use things such as the daisies to decorate your Playscene and to merge that harsh line in between the horizon and the ground while that's growing, because it'll grow whether I'm looking at it or not. We see that this line is very, very harsh, and it kind of looks a little awkward. But what we can do is we can grow plants in-game that already match the art style of the game and use those to blend it in. I'll actually grab a carrot too, because I like the carrot tops. They make really great grass clumps to put in and hide some of those harsh lines and make things look a ton better. Like a ton better. But unfortunately they take forever to grow. But once you grow one, you just save the image and you'll have it, and you won't have to go through the process of growing them every time, and it's not that bad. I'll just clean that. So eventually they will grow, and we will have to sit here and wait for them to grow. And this is just the original backyard. I haven't done anything to this, just so you know. Because I like this backyard in the summer. It's nice, it's summery, it looks warm, everything's alive, which is how the summer should be. Okay, good enough. So now I'm just gonna get out one of my pets. Doesn't really matter. I'll take out Fluff. Hi, Fluff. This is Fluff. Fluff is a cat. A very cute cat. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture of Fluff. And we're going to we're going to deselect that because we don't want the background. And, oh, your bow got in the way of the, there we go. There we go. We're just going to save that. Under pet pics, it's pet pic 54. Thank you, Fluff. You're the best, Fluff. And while we're here, so I don't have to keep coming back and forth, we are going to print screen the beach and go somewhere quieter. Minimize that. And we're going to take that print screen and we're going to paste it. And we're going to cut it. We're going to crop it real quick. Oh. This video might have to be redone. Oops. We'll save it as BMP this time. Why not? Beach. Save. Alright. And we will minimize that. So now we will go and open beach. And that'll pop up. And we will also open our Petz 54. Now I have it saved over here to where I can just quickly get to my pet pics. You can do that too, or you can go to your drive, program files. I'll just do it. You can go to your drive, click program files, scroll all the way down until you find Ubisoft. Hit Petz 5, hit pet pics, you're there. And you can just open it and see we have these two little plants that we can use now. So I'm just gonna completely get rid of this cat by deleting it. I swear it's still in the game, it's just deleted from this picture. Now it's all gone, but we still have that white background. So what I'll do is I'll click this magic wand and it's gonna select around our plants without us having to do any of the work. And we'll add alpha channel and we'll delete. There's a little white left up here, so we'll delete that. Except it deleted part of our flower. So that's a little bit of an issue. So let's do edit, undo, edit, undo. So we'll just hit select none. Take our magnifying glass and we'll zoom in and see what the problem is. Oh. Actually, I gotta undo the last select too. There we go. Select none. So we got this white coming in here. That's the exact same shade of white as the flower. So what we'll do is we'll click this pencil tool. We'll go down here and change the size to 1. We'll click this white box and click the circle. And then we've got black already. So what we'll do is we'll just find those little holes and fill them in. Now when we select it, oh, I missed one. That's awkward. Now when we select it, you can see that it doesn't delete the flower as well. You can click this, which is add to current selection, and that allows you to select both sides of that flower at the same time. And my transparency should still be there. So there we go. Now we'll just zoom out, select none, and we got some plants that we can throw in to that image. Now I also wanted, just for funsies, to add this beach towel. Show you yet again this select tool that allows you just to select all around, and you can click on the dot and drag it. If you put it in the wrong spot, not a big deal. Select, invert it, because if you don't invert it, it'll delete whatever's inside of the dashed lines, but if you invert it, then it'll delete everything around it. We'll go to layer, transparency, add alpha channel, and then we'll hit delete. Now we just have our little blanket. we'll select none. And, you know, I kind of decided that I don't like this color. Now, you guys might like this color, but I don't like this color right now. So I'm going to click Colors, and I'm going to click Colorize. I'm going to change its color, because I can do that. So first I'm going to do is I can adjust its hue. So we're on a green grass, so let's do red. We'll do red because I feel like doing red. And you also have this option of saturation, which will either make it bright red, or it'll make it gray. But, you know, I'm wanting some bright red right now, so we're going to go bright red. And you got this lightness, which can make it whiter, or it can make it completely white or completely black. And this is how you get your shades of pink and whatnot. But I wanted red, so we're going to go with red. So that's a really neat function. And then you can just click and drag, make sure it's on the layer you want. Now it kind of looks a little odd, don't you think? Its perspective's a little off. I've always thought it was off on the beach scene too. So what we can do is we can just drag. First thing I'll do is rotate it, because I want it to be as flat as possible before I use the perspective tool on it. Then I'll use the perspective tool, and I'll bring that corner in, bring that corner out, bring that corner out. And the best thing is you can see it as you're working with it, so you can see what you're doing. That's still not quite right, so I'll just drag that out just a little bit more. And this is kind of one of those things you just gotta play with. Now see, that looks nice and flat. But the thing is, if you play with it too much, you'll end up making your image look a little fuzzy. So sometimes you'll have to go and just delete the layer, come back to it, re-drag it on, and start over. And then you can rotate it, use a perspective tool. Kind of looks like a piece of bacon, doesn't it? Now when these corners get off like this, it gets a little hard to know which one to move, and it gets a little harder to select the one you're trying to mess with. So you can just come down here and zoom out and keep messing with it. And eventually what you'll get is something that's at the perspective you want it to be. So this is 100% zoomed in. I usually work at 66.7% zoomed in, because that allows me to see the whole area I'm working with. I can just move that around. Now what I'll do is I'll just use these, except what I'll do is I'll just drag it. I have it. And these are all labels. This is Petz 54, that's how I know which one it is. And it takes a box and puts the box around whatever layer it is that you've got selected. Now this one's box is really big, so we're not going to see it because we resized it and made its box really big. So we're just looking at this right now. And we'll just put that right there. And let's duplicate it. Now, do we really want to have this same thing repeating? No, you won't see these next to each other all the time, now will you? So you can always come back and delete whatever you want. So let's make a little bush out of these carrot tops, because we can do that. And you can drag it and hide that orange. Because the layers will always be, the topmost layer will show on top of everything else, and the bottom layer will be below everything else. which is a key little thing to remember. So we've just made kind of a little bush out of that carrot. Not the prettiest bush in the world, but you know, it's a bush. Doesn't have to be pretty. And I actually can't find the one that I just duplicated, so we'll just leave it. So you can use that trick to blend stuff in. Now, it's not going to blend in perfectly right now because I don't feel like blending it in perfectly for the purposes of this, but if you mess with it enough, it'll blend in and it'll look good. So this is all the tools that I really wanted to show you in this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, and I'm not going to hit Save. I'm going to hit Export. And I'm just going to export this to my desktop so I can find it. And we'll name it Tutorial. If I can spell today. Here we go. Just hit export, doesn't matter. Now we can hit, well, we can just minimize all this. I'll close it later, because you have to close it all individually. So we've got this. Now, unfortunately, this can't go straight into the game. And to show that, I'll just prove that to you real quick. So, create new Playscene, next, browse, and desktop. Tutorial. So we get this error. And that's the whole reason that we gotta go back into Paint. And we gotta open our tutorial. So now it's open. Now we'll go File, Save As, and it must be a BMP. Has to be this right here. Can't be anything else. It's gotta be this. I don't know why, that's the only thing it'll let you save it as. So we'll just go ahead and save it. Yes, we want to replace it. Now, if everything works correctly, we should just be able to click that, put it in, boom, works. I don't know what Paint does to it, but it fixes the problem. Now you can just change the horizon. Horizon looks good to me, but you can drag it, you can add odd angles to it, you can do whatever you want. You can add ledges. Now what I do for the ledges is I position them where I want them, and you can make them longer or wider. And then get out something like a coffee mug, the mug. And just keep putting it on that shelf. Keep adjusting it until you get that shelf exactly how you want it. You can also use a pet to test it and make sure it looks like your pet's actually not on it and not floating above it, because that just looks awkward. So we got some advanced stuff here. So we can change the footprint. Your mouse can watch out. So right now we're not really seeing that footprint, but it should be there. I don't know why it's not. Let's hit next and see if it shows up. Okay, it's not showing up. Might be because the background's too dark. You can also click dirt. See, now you can see it. See that little dirt around his feet? That's that effect. And he won't run for me, but it shows up better when they run. Sand. Come on. See how sandy that looks? And you can also do water. But we're going to want dirt here. You can do hole. Can't really show this to you. We got a light hole, you got a dark hole, and you got grass. Light and dark, that's just the color of dirt. And so the light kind of looks like the sandy hole you get on the beach. Dark is just a brown hole with no grass, and then you can do grass, which is a brown hole with some grass. Rollable means your plants will grow. Growable means your plants will grow. Rollable, don't really know what that means. Pretty sure it just means that these balls and stuff roll a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it means. So you also get your bounciness, which is actually an important. It's very important. See how long this thing is bouncing for? Now let's change it to 0. And we'll drop it again. I mean, it won't even bounce. It's just... It's not bouncy. But on the flip side, we make it bouncy. This actually works a lot better with food dishes, but let's see. Here we go. Hey, you eat the food so I can show this. Go on, you can eat the food. Are we not hungry? Please be hungry. Okay, well this is not exemplifying my point very well, but anyway, if you do it up here, it makes it really bouncy. If you do it down here, it makes it like completely not bouncy. In Petz 5, everything will still bounce a bit. I've never really used context sounds, just because they never really, the only one really is sandy contact, and I never really make beach scenes, but it's that sound you hear when your pets are running around on the beach. That's what you're hearing, is that sandy contact. And you can actually right click and hit preview sound. So you hear that. Oh, they're digging a hole. There's our hole, in case you guys were wondering. Wonder if changing it in the middle will change what it looks like. No, it's just gonna be a grass hole. But that's, you don't really want the contact sounds because that gets really annoying. Come on, I wish this would change like in the middle. But it won't. You're so nice, digging a hole in the middle of this. Alright, finish your hole so we can move on. Guess he didn't like the food, guys. So you have these areas, and in these areas, you can right click them, and all those different things that we just looked at, you can change it just for that area. So if you don't want this area to be growable, you just go and you click no. And you can't grow anything right there. And you also have this stuff, which you can move around, you can change how it, you can change the shape of it however you want. It's pretty flexible. And you can change it to hangable, which allows you to hang stuff like clocks. Now I've got a clock hanging on a cloud. How weird is that? You also have gazeable, which means your pets will just randomly start looking at it and just never look away. Now we have sprite paths. This you can use to make things move across your screen at random intervals. I personally do not use it because for whatever reason you cannot make the background transparent, so you just have this awkward, you have your little image in the middle of the picture, of the square, it's always a square, and then it's on a white background, and it just moves across your screen, and it doesn't blend in at all, just looks awkward. So we also have this interaction box, which you can change the size of. And you can do things like, if somebody clicks on it, you can add a sound. You can load a picture. This is how I make things night and day versions when they're not overwriting files. You can just hit load bitmap and select your picture. do this one, and it comes up. And it can be a little hard to get it because it doesn't always let you drag it from this yellow corner. So what I do for that is I just move the box, load it again, and sometimes it'll change it, but there we go. So you can click that and move it and line it up, and then once you're done you can actually like move the box back to where you want it. So that's not a big deal. But as you can see in Petz 5 it doesn't work that well because as your pet moves around with this interaction on it kind of erases it. And so it just kind of, it doesn't work very well. See, it's not pretty. I wouldn't suggest using that feature in Petz 5 other than to make sounds play. Totally use it to make sounds play. Now this is your bird sounds, your wind sounds. I'm not going to go through them all. You can time them at different intervals, all the way up to 30 minutes. This is how often they play. You can right-click them and preview them. So that's that. You can add mouse holes. Mouse holes you don't have, they're not as customizable. They must be a square. And if you don't want a mouse hole, you can just right-click on it and hit delete. And that goes for any of these. So you can just right click on this and hit delete and it's gone. Now I don't really use this, I just always hit copy from background. This is that icon that shows up in the menu that no one really pays attention to anyway. You're free to make one, I don't know what size it needs to be. I'm sure it has to be a specific size. I always just hit copy from background. And I hit next, I add my details, and I save it, and then I can go to it. Now, I'm not going to save this one because I'm just not, because it's ugly and I did not spend that much time on it. So we're just going to go hit options, clean up, and I'm hoping the next time I come here all this will be erased, but knowing my luck, no, it's all going to stay. So actually, a good way to clear it is just type whatever into the Playscene name, save it, and then when you come back to the editor, and you click create new Playscene, it's black again, it's all blank again. And you can just delete this custom scene that you didn't want from your folder, your Playscenes folder. Now it works pretty much the same way in Petz 4. I'm going to go through it anyway, just so that everybody's even, but it's the same thing. You go, you edit it, you save it, it's all there, it's all ready to go. Pretty much all the sounds and things are the same too. They didn't change much between Petz 4 and Petz 5, other than Petz 5 has a lot better graphics, in my opinion. Create new Playscene, so you browse, go to desktop, or wherever you saved it, you open it, it's there, you can edit the horizon, edit the ledges, do the advanced stuff, footprint, rollable, growable, bouncy, contact sounds, special areas, hanging, sprites that move across the screen, which I suggest not doing, your interactions, your random background noises, your mouse holes, your icon. All the same. Literally nothing's different. Same principle, you can just type whatever in, save it, yeah, you can go to it, and, oh, I should not have clicked that, I forgot that this has loading screens. But you can go back to the editor, and create a new Playscene, and it all goes back to gray. So that is pretty much it. If you have any other questions, they're pretty much, you can email me, message me on whatever website you're finding this through. My email is on here. You can contact me through the blog. The adoptions page has my email on it. if I can get there. So this is the blog. You can always comment on whatever one of these, and it'll reach me. You can also hit the email me button, and that will email me directly, and you can ask me questions. Feel free to message me, email me, any Playscene requests, any questions you may have. I'm always happy to help you figure out what you want to do, or, hey, I'm having this problem, how would you do this? I am happy to give you feedback, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial video. I know some things ended up being in the area off to the side to where you couldn't really see what I was doing. I apologize. When I have a bit more time, maybe I'll record this again so that we don't have that same issue. But I hope this helped, and I hope you have a really great day and have a lot of fun making play scenes. Bye!